Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eric, DJD715 for the VC. Hold on, let me get this camera situated here. Alright, I think we're good now. What can I say? It's been a busy 3-4 weeks here with holidays and everything. All that stuff's done now. In the course of the time with the holidays and all that shopping and all that nonsense, I did do some vinyl trading here and there. I did some shopping. VCLT, bought a few things from a couple online sites. I actually did my first Discogs purchase the other day, and I also bought some stuff from Century Media, some other sites as well. Let's get started. I also went to this last few days. I've been picking over this antique mall. In the last since like September. I've been going there periodically and trying to go through their albums. They have, like, literally a million albums, probably, and nothing is sorted. And it's in this old, dusty barn. It's an antique barn. And it's, like, that's why I'm congested right now. It's just terrible in there. You flip through albums and just, dust is just, it's like a cloud around you. I just sneeze and sneeze and sneeze. But I do find some good stuff. And I usually come out there spending, it's $2 an album. I usually come out spending, like, you know, buying 30-35 albums at a time. This last go around, so far it's been, I've basically picked the whole place over in the last, the last 6-7 times I've been there. I did finally actually look at their CDs they had there, and their 45s. Their 45s are all strewn around with no cases, no slip cases or anything. I did find one slip case though that was really cool. But first, let's start with the CDs from that antique mall. These were $2 each as well. New Order Substance, great record. I had this on CD back in high school, I believe. A Sabotage album I'm not very familiar with, Dead Winter Dead. This is the first album with Petrelli and excuse me, Chris Cafferty on guitar. Don't know anything about it. Here's I remember when this album came out. Excuse me, I saw a video on Headbangers Ball and I was like, didn't really care for it, but I bought it for $2 nonetheless. I think a lot of people in the VC probably like this album, so I'm going to give it a spin. It's Arcade with, what's his name? Stephen Pearcy on vocals from Rat. So this is like 92, 93. So this is like his first band after Rat. Speaking of Rat, let me turn this down, by the way. By the way, what's playing is, I'm sure a lot of you know this one already. Upgrade copy, found it for, my dad picked it up for me for $6. It's like near mint condition, so it's got a little bit of ring wear, but nothing major. It's an upgrade from the one I have, so here's the one I have. I'll pull that out. It's actually got a good cardboard too, but the records are scratchy, so I might swap the, I think they're the same pressing, they're ACO pressing, so I'll just swap the vinyls. Excuse me. This congestion really sucks. Let me take another drink of beer. That did the spot. Alright. Oh, this one kind of sucks. I'm not familiar with this album at all either. After Rat Detonator, that was kind of like the breakup of the band, and they resurfaced in the 90s, and I think they probably had a different sound for this one, but this is their 1999 album? Yeah, 99. It's just the Rat self-titled. Not familiar with this album at all, other than the fact that they, of course, by this time, he wasn't dead yet, but Robin Crosby was no longer in the band. They had, this guy here, I can't remember his name. This guy right here, I can't remember his name. I saw them live in 2005, and he was their bass player then, too. So I hear this is pretty good. It's a little different than most of their stuff in the 80s, but it's worth a shot, so. Here's another upgrade copy. This was in dead mint condition. The disc is perfect. I want this on vinyl so bad. I know it was released 2 years ago or so. I know LJ has it. I've never seen it in the wild. It's Dream Theater's Images and Words. I love this record. These Pull Me Under and Take the Time used to dominate on frickin' Headbangers Ball in 1992. Such a good record. Here's one that I've owned before, and I didn't like it then. I think it's okay now. The album seems to have a good momentum for the first half, and the second half is kind of, it's Tesla's Bust a Nut. I saw him 2 years ago live. Jeff Keith's voice is, it's going. But I saw them on the Psychotic Supper tour with Firehouse opening in '92, and that was mind blowing. They were awesome on that tour. They played all the classics from the first 3 records. Every song you want to hear from that early time period of the band you wanted to hear. This album is good. But I remember when it came out in '94, I was kind of let down. It's better than I remembered, but I'm going to give it another spin. Okay, on to the vinyl. First, let's start with that 45 that I mentioned that I picked up at the antique store where I bought those CDs. Pretty cool. Van Halen, I'll Wait. And the B-side is, I think it's, let's see, Girl Gone Bad and I'll Wait. So, yeah. Pretty neat. Like I said, most of the 45s they have there are just strewn around. And there's some pretty good ones in there, too. I saw, I saw some Genesis stuff. I think I saw even an AC/DC that was just thrown around. This one's in really good shape. I just cleaned it up, and it's got no scratches on it. It's real nice. So it wasn't played in a jukebox or anything, because you can always tell in the jukebox ones, because they're all grooveware like crazy. So that's like one of my, I don't have many 45s. That's one of my first ones. Okay, so I have let me pan over here. I have a box of albums right there that I'm going through from the, excuse me, from the, that antique mall that I'm going to. There's about 20 there, and I've gone through about 4 or 5 of them already, and some I didn't like, and some of them I do like. Ones I picked up today, which I haven't gone through yet, that Genesis one you see back there, and I know nothing about this. It looks like an independent pressing. The band's called The Healing Faith. It's still sealed. It's like in a baggy seal. The Healing Faith, and it has like a little card here. It says, "Caution. This record contains explicit lyrics designed for a mature adult audience. Parental discretion is advised. Not for sale for anyone under 17 years of age." So it's kind of like a ghetto parental advisory sticker. This is from '86, '87. It's on Riley Records. I don't know if you can see that. I've never heard this label. It's got to be an independent pressing. It looks kind of metal from the guys in the band, either metal or punk. I need to do some research on this. It's only 6 songs. Riley Records. No idea about this. I just stumbled upon this through the miles and miles of Streisands and Sinatras and frickin' Christopher Cross. I mean, didn't it find something obscure like this? Was kind of strange. 3 other albums I found there that I've listened to that I really like. I'm sure everybody has these. This one's not in the greatest condition, but I'll find an upgrade real easy. ZZ Top Eliminator. I was very blown away by this record. I really like it. I think I had it on a cassette years ago, but I basically forgot the whole album. Another one that really shocked me, that's really good. This one's, the cover's haggard, has some stupid sticker on it. It's Wang Chung. I don't even know what the album's called. Points on the Curve. This is really freaking good Techno-pop. I love Techno-pop. LJ, I'm sure you have this one. If you don't, you will like this album big time. Staying on the Techno-pop wavelength, so to say. Here we go. Oingo Boingo. This is their Nothing to Fear album. This is fantastic as well. I spun this twice today. It has a upside down back cover. It's kind of cool. But I had a buddy in college that was a huge fan of this band, and I was like, at the time, I was like, whatever. But then it was on Iraq in 2010, and the only music I had there in my office was Pandora. And I kind of programmed like an 80s channel, and a couple Oingo Boingo tracks played all the time, and I fell in love with them. So neither of them were on this album. No, actually, one of them is on here. It's called Private Life. That song was great. The other one's called Just Another Day, which isn't on this album. The song is amazing, but it's not on this album. I don't even know what album it's on. But $2, couldn't go wrong. It's in really, really good shape, too. Okay, so I went to another antique store. Not too far from that one. I came across a couple real cheap buys. These were $2 each. Big Sun. No idea what this is. But I remember the Play It, Say It label. It's a Go label promo as well. The Play It, Say It label's on Metal Church Blessing in Disguise. So I don't know what this is, if it's alternative, if it's new wave, if it's synth pop, whatever. No idea what this is. But it looked cool, so I bought it. Big Big Sun. Could Stop the World. Never heard that song. So, the album is called Stop the World. So if anybody knows anything about this, let me know. Another one I stumbled upon was Mass. This is called Take You Home. It's a 6-song EP. 80s metal. Apparently it's Christian. I thought so by the cover, but I wasn't sure. This was actually sealed. I just opened this like 10 minutes before I started filming. This was still sealed. This is actually really cool. I listened to a couple tracks on YouTube and I really like it. I know Scott Waters has this album. I know he's like the big Christian metal guy on the vinyl community, and I'm friends with him too. This is on the Medusa label, and you can see that. This is never played. I just took this out of the wrapper like 10 minutes ago. It just comes in this little flimsy little Restless Records. It's on Restless/Medusa Records. The couple tracks I heard were really good, really well executed 80s metal, not pop metal, not thrash. So probably like more in the vein of like Metal Church or maybe even Vicious Rumors from that era. And these little sleeves are hard to get in there. Anyways, the cardboard's not in the greatest condition, even though it was in the wrapper. It started fraying off the top. But the vinyl is dead mint, and I got it for $2. Excuse me. Okay, so from Century Media, I got a pretty big order. This is like 2 weeks before Christmas. There's a band from Sweden. They're kind of a death metal supergroup. They're called Bloodbath. This is the original EP. This has been released on vinyl, I think, 3 times. This one has a couple of demo tracks on the second side. I haven't even opened it yet. I've heard this album so many times I didn't need to open it right away. And then their third album, which has Peter Taggart from Hypocrisy on vocals. Nightmares Made Flesh. This album rules. If you like, this isn't brutal death metal. It's not, but it's not really melodic either. It's kind of in the vein of like Entombed or early Morbid Angel, maybe even early Death, with a little bit of obituary thrown in there, some sludgy parts. This is excellent. This is one of the best death metal albums there is. If you like death metal that's not like grindy, Cannibal Corpse, freaking blood splatter, gore, guts kind of crap, this is your deal. There's a couple like gory songs. One's called Eaten. But overall, it's not like blatantly like every song is about eating flesh or whatever. It's good. For people that doubt death metal, I think you'll like this. Musicianship is incredible too. I went to another store. This was about a month ago now. I came across a couple albums for cheap. It's in a mall not too far from my hometown. HSAS, Haggard, Sammy Hagar and Neil Sean's band from early 80s. It's pretty good. I liked it. That antique mall, I tell you. This is really good. I liked it. It was only like $3, I think. And $4 sticker down there wasn't the price. It was really good. It was just straightforward. Excuse me. Another one I stumbled upon was, this is my first exposure to Helix. The cool thing about this one is, yeah, this is it, right? Yeah, this is a Howland pressing. This was in a local store. It's got a cellophane inner sleeve. It's on the Capitol, regular label, but it's a Howland pressing. That was kind of cool. The album's pretty good. It's not great, but for Helix, I mean, for what I know of Helix, this is like their most popular record. It's pretty good. I'd buy more Helix in the future if it comes for the right price. This was like $5, so a little on the high side, but it's in dead mint condition too. There's barely any ring wear on it. Let me see if I do. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I'm in an order with Century Media Records. I'm a huge fan of the band In Flames, especially their early stuff. Well, their first 4 albums were never released on vinyl. They were on picture disc, never on vinyl. So they finally released them on proper vinyl. Here's their album. Their second album is called The Jester Race. This is probably their most, what's a good word for it? This is probably their pinnacle, I'd say. This is early in their career too, but they hit their pinnacle early. Really melodic guitars, very almost Iron Maiden-y guitars. Of course, tuned down, but man, this sneezing is crazy. This is excellent, excellent stuff. The follow-up to that was called Horacle. Awesome artwork. This is excellent stuff too. Almost a continuation of the Jester Race, but you could see where they were going in the future. The elements of a little bit more commercial sound. That's when they took the commercial sound even further with Colony from 1999. I saw them, they toured the US the first time on this tour. And I saw them 3 times on that tour, including their first US appearance, which was at Milwaukee Metal Fest that year. And then in 2000 they followed that with Clayman, which really had a more modern sound. He used drop tune guitars on a couple songs, which kind of showed where they were going. This is still good. It's really good. It's just not my favorite from them. Alright. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I did a trip to Albuquerque, a month and a half ago or so. Came across Gentle Giant Freehand. This was pretty inexpensive, so I picked it up. It's good prog. I liked it. Finally, I don't know how many times I've seen this damn record. It's completely haggard every time. I finally got a Stoneman copy. Freaking Animal Magnetism. It's got a couple scratches on the cover, but it doesn't have any ring wear. I think it's on the old... It's on the Chicago Skyline label. It's in great condition. It was only $5. I had to take it. Every time I see this damn record, it's just haggard. It's just completely freaking haggard. Alright, another Sean album. This, I think, was the better of the 2 Sean Hammer albums. Here to Stay. This has some really good songs on it. I really like it. It was cheap. It was like $2, I think. Also, in that pick, found some more Nectar. This was called Magic as a Child. The cover art? Oh, wait, never mind. Not the cover art. Let me show you a picture on the inside of this. There's lyrics on one side, and there's a portrait on the other side. In the comments below, tell me who you think this is. You won't believe who this is. This is actually a very famous person. For anybody that knows this album, you'll probably, oh, I know what that is right away. But if you don't, take some guesses. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think it is. You'd be surprised who it is. I'm sure somebody will give the answer away, but I'll verify that when I post below you. Alright. I apologize again for these allergies. That Antique Mall is just ridiculous. Last time I was there, I got sick, so I see that coming on now. Okay, so I made another purchase. Actually, there's one more on that purchase. Yeah, here it is. For those of you that are into more extreme metal and even more weird, obscure stuff, I'm a fan of the End Records. They have a really good mail order. I happened to stumble upon something on there that hasn't been released in like, well, it was released 25 years ago, and they didn't release many. And it's finally reissued. Finally reissued. Boom! Oh, I've been wanting this forever. I love this album. For those of you that don't know this album, this is one of the best late 80s, early 90s progressive metal albums there is. Lethal Programmed. Tom Mallicott, very similar vocal delivery to kind of like Jeff Tate or Carl Albert from Vicious Rumors. Great stuff. This is fantastic. These guys were from Kentucky of all places. This is on Caroline Empire Records, but it is registered with Metal Blade as well, even though the record was not produced by Metal Blade. It comes in a little cellophane sleeve. It's got interesting labels on it. It's just black 180 gram vinyl. You can see that. One's white, one's black label. Comes with a lyric sheet and everything inside. This album was like 15 bucks. I'm like, I have to have that. On eBay, the original copies of this go for stupid prices. So I had to pull the trigger on this and get this. If you guys want to go on the End Records, it's called the Omega Mail Order. It's through the End Records. Hopefully they still have this. I haven't checked in a couple weeks. But when I saw this listed on their new releases, I was like on that like stink on shit. Alright. Another kind of death doom album that I'm a huge fan of. The band Catatonia, they're from Sweden. This is Brave Murder Day. This was my favorite album. This has Mikael Ackerfeldt from Opeth on vocals. This is just a reissue from Peaceville. Nothing special. This is on 180 gram vinyl. Love this album, so I decided to pick it up for the right price. And the same thing with this one. This is a good live album. I don't say it's a great live album, but it's good for Violent Fun from Exodus. This is just a really nice reissue. It's not the Relativity, it's a reissue from 2011. Exclusive license from Century Media on Flogger Records. You can see that. I think it came in a... Man, it's really tight in there. There we go, because I already put it in a MoFi sleeve. It's got cool custom labels from the vinyl. They're not the same labels that were on the Relativity version. Just got the little album cover guy on there. Like I say, it's a good live album. It's not great. This is on the Fabulous Disaster tour, but they had John Tempesta already playing drums, who went on to play on the Impact is Imminent album, which is my favorite Exodus record. I'm sure a lot of people think, what? I mean, I love the new Exodus stuff, but that earlier stuff is where my heart is. This was like, I couldn't pass this up. It was like 12 bucks, brand new. So I had to pull the trigger on that. Okay, I'm on the Facebook, YouTube, vinyl community trade and sell page. This came up on there for a really good price from a guy named Jeremy Shemp. Good dude. Made a nice trade with him. And got, this is All the Silent Planet. This is the first King's X. It's a gold stamp promo. It's dead mint. There's no ringware, there's no nothing. Oh man, that record's already over. I can't believe that. I'll just go silent for the rest of this. This was in nice shape. I had to get it. Alright, another thing I bought on there. Never had this on vinyl. This is the Megaforce Records version. Fortunately, it got damaged in shipment. I don't know if you can see this corner. But it got bent pretty bad. Which was really disappointing. The vinyl was stone mint though. It's silver label Megaforce. It's really cool. I haven't even played this yet. I mean, I know this album. I think we all know this album like inside and out. I can play every riff on this on guitar. Have been able to for 20 freaking years. It's just like a great. This sounds crazy, but like if I'm like at home and I'm drinking and I want to play some guitar, I throw this on and I just freaking get drunk and play this album on guitar. It's one of those albums you can play really easily if you're drunk. If you're good at thrash, you can play this easy. Excuse me. Actually, I'm gonna flip this record. That's dirty. Alright. Another guy on the YouTube page, his name's Keith Tabor. He hooked me up big. He gave me a sound clip of this. I don't know where I would have been, but I know this is kind of an obscure band. This album smokes. It's called Drive, Characters in Time. Amazing, amazing guys from Texas. I believe they're from Houston. This is very much in like the vein of Vicious Rumors. Maybe even a little bit of Crimson Glory. It's just good. This was on, I think, was it Kamikaze Records? No, Rampage Records out of Santa Monica, California. And this is in great condition. There's not even any ringware on it. Nice glossy cover. I was stoked when he sent this. Like I made a deal with him, but when it came up in such nice condition, I was blown away. This is great stuff. I've listened to this 3 or 4 times already. Rampage Records. Never even heard of it. This is like 1988. I think they made another album after this. No idea if it's even exists on vinyl. It was like in 92, I want to say. But this album smokes. If you can find this. If you're any kind of prog, straightforward heavy metal guy, get this. Late 80s, good production, killer guitar riffs, killer solos. Check this out. Another one I remember the video for, one of the tracks on this album, and it was good. I thought it was a little on the hair metal side, but it had a good riff. Hurricane, take what you want. The song Hurricane, the title track, awesome. This is the original pressing on Enigma Records. It's got some type of sticker over the barcodes, but I picked this up for like $6. It's just in the same Enigma, original white Enigma label. It's in mint condition. Couldn't go wrong. I'm really unfamiliar with this band. I know their second album had a hit or two on it. On like MTV or Headbangers Ball for that matter. But I'm gonna try and seek that one out. All right, so I made my first Discogs buy. Well, I got two things really cheap and real brand new. But unfortunately, this is from the same guy. I can't remember. He goes by a couple names. LJ Biosite on the YouTube vinyl community. He had that video about packaging from Amazon distributors. Well, this guy does Discogs too. I had no idea. He goes by a different name on Discogs. But when I saw the thing came from Kentucky, because I remember in his video he said, "Don't get stuff from this guy in Kentucky." I knew right away. I'm like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be fucked up." So I was really kind of disappointed. Although the price was right and the shipping was free. First off, I love this record, United Abominations. This is one of the ones I bought. If you can see on the top, it was shipped in like the freaking paper stupid thing that they were both shipped separately for first off, and I ordered them at the same time. I figured he'd pack them together, but as you can see here, it's split on the top. I didn't do any damage to the record, but I was just disappointed that damn this is split on the top, from just tossing around, and especially in that shitty little flimsy cardboard crap mailer. But this album was kind of weird. The first side seems quieter than the second side, and I love the first. The problem is the first side of the album is the better side. The first side is like the best songs in the album: Sleepwalker, Washington's Next, Never Walk Alone, United Abominations, and Gears of War. Those are hands down the best 5 songs on this album. But it's much quieter, like volume-wise, than the second side. I don't know what it is. I don't know if anybody else has that problem with this vinyl. Let me know. Excuse me. Another one that I was dying to get, and I finally got it too. Same problem. You can see on the top. You see a little bit of damage right here. Right? Can you see that? Right there on the seam from shitty shipping. And it's one of the albums I've been wanting forever. It's the reissue. It's on music on vinyl. I actually threw away the original sleeve because it was mangled too. But it's music, and it actually has a little crease in it too in the corner. It's not bad. It's actually not a crease. It's just kind of a bend. But it's the music on vinyl reissue from 2013. Nice glossy cover. But the original, oh yeah, and it's also split on the end too. You can see in the, pissed me off. I gave him a negative write-up for this too. The cool thing about these music on vinyls is that they press it with labels